ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous. You are ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. I'm ridiculous for trying to spread some holiday cheer. Merry Christmas, LBHT crew. We're here with B and Hendo. Maybe another person later on. We'll see. Okay, fingers crossed. It is a special Wednesday. It is Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate. Happy Wednesday. Hope your day is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are not streaming live today. This is a recorded episode, but we will have this on YouTube. We will have this. I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it on Facebook. All right. Probably not Twitch. Okay. But that's okay. You know, make sure you hit that like button. Come on in. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. This will be uploaded to our audio podcast. So if you're listening to this, maybe I'll put it out the same day on Christmas as well, not on Thursday. All right.
That's a little treat for them.
Yes. And speaking of treats, we're going to have some treats for you guys later on in the show because we are in the giving season. Okay. So we're going to give something back to you guys for supporting us all this time. We really appreciate it. All right.
Nice.
Hello, man. What's going on? How's your holiday season going?
It's perfect. I mean, I don't celebrate, so don't spend any money. I don't worry about anything. I'm unbothered. It's wonderful.
There you go. All right. How's it going for you, B?
Hendo's the absolute worst. Like if you don't know the story, Hendo got angry one time at his children, at the innocent ones on Christmas.
Yeah, who are kids?
Because they were playing with things that he thought that they shouldn't be playing with. Instead of the gifts that he got him that morning, and he got all upset, he got all in his feelings, and he canceled Christmas forever. It's a damn shame. Like he shakes his head, you don't hear him saying no.
Because you make us. I didn't get mad at him. I just said, "Listen, you wanted these things. I bought you these things, and you're playing with boxes."
Like you don't put fun in order. They were gonna play with the things later.
Now, how old were they? Because
at that time, Jazz had to have been about. I'll say she's like 12, so Darian had to be 8.
Yeah, kids.
I didn't have a problem with them not playing with their toys, but they're walking around the house stomping. I'm so bored. It's nothing to do. Oh, word.
Yeah, it's a classic sign of lies when more details come out every time they.
I told you that. I told you that I was in the bedroom and all I heard was, "I'm bored. I don't have nothing to do." And I said, "Y'all better play with them. You better play with them damn toys." And then next thing I know, all I hear is, "Oh, this is so fun. Yeah." And I go out there and I'm like, "That's what I'm talking about." And they in the boxes. This is crazy.
Maybe they like to preserve their toys. Some people don't like to take their toys out the box to preserve, the condition of it. Okay,
not them.
Not them. Trying.
Just very bah humbug over there.
But that didn't.
Had you held on to those toys, they might have been worth something right now.
Maybe, but that wasn't their last Christmas that I celebrated. I celebrated.
Oh well, lucky them.
Yes.
Wow. When was their last?
I can't remember. I don't remember because, like I told you last week, unprofessional.
All right, where do we leave off?
Hendo defending his nonsense.
But no, I was saying that I stopped Christmas because, my ex-wife, she would always have me drop the gift sauce for the kids and started claiming like she bought them.
Hendo stopped Christmas because he thought it was checkers and it was chess.
No.
Anyway, we hope you're having a great Christmas, holidays, Festivus, whatever you celebrate. Okay, time off, all that stuff. All right. We're going to go over a few things. We recognize that the Ravens will be playing when this comes out, so we'll go ahead and give a quick prediction preview of the Ravens and Texans game. We'll put this out before the game actually happens, and then we'll see what happens in the game. The Ravens win that game.
Diontae Johnson revenge game.
I don't think he's going to play in that game, but we'll get into that. Diontae Johnson is with the Texans now. A good move for the Texans, and it makes sense. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's going on with the Panthers after their big win, and a couple other things. All right. Do we have a Black History fact?
No.
Nope. Do we need this?
Ask you if you're prepared.
I am prepared. I didn't do one for Thanksgiving either.
I know, and they were asking about it.
Well, no, they weren't. That was just Hendo.
They were asking about it.
And now Hendo is here. Problem solved.
Wow.
You want a Black History fact? About 15, 20 years ago, a black man named Antoine Henderson canceled Christmas for his kids because he felt petty and insecure.
Wow.
Thanks, B.N. Okole.
Anytime.
All right. Well, where do we want to start? We want to start. We recapped the Ravens beating the Steelers. We did a post game show after that. But let's follow up on that because that was a big win. Okay, and the Ravens are now tied with the Steelers record wise, division, and these next two games are really going to determine where they fall in the seeding, in division and all that stuff. So if the Ravens win out and the Steelers win out, the Steelers win the division. That's pretty much what it is because they'll have the better conference record. If we win out and the Steelers drop one, then we win the division. Obviously, we'll have the better record.
And the Steelers are losing next week.
The Steelers are playing not next week, Christmas, right?
Christmas.
Well, yeah, the next week in the schedule. Yes,
today.
They're going to be losing to Kansas City, and Baltimore is going to be going home with the division. I think
so too. Mm-hmm. Houston, I mean, they played a tough game against Kansas City last week, and they're competitive, but I just don't think they're ready for us.
And listen, just all of the Christmas wishes and well wishes to Tank Dell. He has had a very, very rough start to his career. He broke his leg last season. He got shot in the offseason as an innocent bystander. And now he dislocated his knee and tore his ACL. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he can come back, even better. But we wish him a speedy recovery and a far less eventful rest of his career.
Facts.
Yes, yeah, right. Yes. Boring. Quiet and boring.
But as far as the Texans and Ravens game, obviously Lamar is playing out of his mind. CJ Stroud has been struggling this season a bit, largely because of the O-line and not having great protection, and then wide receivers have just been in and out of the lineup in Houston. They brought in Stephon Diggs. He got injured. He was out for the season. I believe Nico missed us sometime. Now Tank Dell was out. He came in. He's out again. So, they've done a lot of shuffling, but they've done a good job of holding things together. I just don't think that they're on that level with Baltimore. They're not the contender that people thought they would be, after their surprise season last year. And as long as Baltimore kind of keeps up the same level of play that they've shown recently in recent weeks, I think not that it's going to be an easy game, but it's not a particularly close game. I'm saying they're going to blow them out, but it's going to be comfortable for Baltimore, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think coming off the bye, after that bad loss to Philly, I think there's a bigger sense of urgency. They played well against the Giants. They played fairly well against the Steelers, right? I mean, you got to expect some mistakes when you're playing a rival that's good. But I think overall they played well, and they understand what they need to do, and they're doing those things, getting ready for the playoffs, right? So I think they're going to keep it going because they have to. Like, they're not. The difference between this year and years in the past is they go into the playoffs, kind of comfortable, like knowing, hey, we won a division, or we know what our seed is. We can rest players. This year, you can't. You got to play out these 2 games. You got to try to win a division, and you got to figure out some things, because the O-line still has some things that they need to try to tighten up before the playoffs start. The defense still has things that they're trying to work out. So break time is over, and that by this late in the season, I think helps. So they got their rest in, they got to kind of sit back and look at some things, and they're geared up, they're ready to go. Lamar's been locked in all year. And I don't think it's going to slow down in the postseason. I'm excited to see what Mark Andrews does this postseason. We've been critical because he hasn't done anything, literally anything, up until this point. But I think that changes this year, So Lamar, Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, I have high expectations for those 3.
Listen, for me, I think the key to the Ravens' future is going to be the defense. They played better as of recent, especially with the addition of our Darius Washington into the starting lineup. The guy that I said last season was going to come in, make the team, make a difference. Somebody was like, he's not going to make it, but that's another story. So once they inserted him into the lineup, the defense has started causing turnovers, and I think that's the biggest key for the Ravens in the playoffs. Now, as far as playing the Houston Texans, they're not the Texans team that I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be one of the top 3 teams in the league, especially with the addition of Stephon Diggs. But just CJ Stroud has lost his magic from last season. The defense, with all that talent, with the addition of Danielle Hunter, just haven't played as well as they could have. Their offensive coordinator is not calling the games like he used to, but they have Joe Mixon, and I think he actually makes that team go more to CJ Stroud, but they don't have enough firepower right now to beat the Ravens. And I think, like you said earlier, the Ravens are going to win these. They're going to have to play these next 2 games to secure the division. And this season is going to be different because they're not missing the last week of the season, and we're not getting a first round bye. They're going to have to keep playing each and every season. So it's not going to be a rust factor. It's going to be, are they actually prepared to go into the playoffs and do what they haven't done? Now, with the addition of Derrick Henry, there will be no excuse of not running the ball come playoff time. We've learned throughout the season, when you run him 16 times or less, the Ravens don't do as well. So if John Harbaugh, for a 7th year, goes into the playoffs and does not run the ball effectively like he should, he's got to go.
Yeah, that's going to be on the defense. If they get into the playoffs and they get behind, they're not going to run the ball. Like, that's just how it goes. That 16 carry stat is more an indication of how the game is going, right? Like, when you're struggling, when you're losing, the run game goes away, and that's for everybody, not just the Ravens. It shouldn't, depending on how close the game is still, right?
Yeah.
If you're within a score, 10 points, you keep running the ball, but coaches won't do it. Because you can't come back fast running the ball.
True, but the Ravens do that when they're down 3 points in the first quarter.
Yes, and in the past, Harbaugh got a pass for it because we didn't have that guy at running back, right? And
are you sure?
Gus
Edwards tearing it up over there in LA.
I'm sure. We never had a guy, this is why we stress having playmakers on the team, period, not just running back, but guys that can't be denied getting on the field, because that is a difference this year. If we get behind and they want to throw the ball and they're not giving Derrick Henry the ball, he will have to answer for that, especially after the year that Derrick Henry is having. That's just not going to be acceptable, him not getting the carries in the playoffs, right? So there is going to be added pressure. I don't care what he says. I mean, we all know he's stubborn and petty, but like, even he knows, if I don't run the ball with this man, we lose. And he only had 12 carries. That could be my job.
He should be hearing that already with Keaton Mitchell. excuse me, with Keaton Mitchell not being a part of the offense at all, and recently just being a healthy scratch. We caution people and saying, hey, he didn't play that much last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked good, he looked explosive, but he wasn't out there for very long. He got hurt a couple times, obviously ending with the torn ACL. But I mean, my God, man, like nothing. He can't do anything at all for the Baltimore Ravens on offense.
But this is why it was the expectations for Keaton Mitchell wasn't good enough for me, right? Because what if Derrick Henry didn't have this type of season, right? What if he looked more like a 30-year-old running back, and he was starting to fall off a cliff, solid but not great, and we needed that extra burst. It wouldn't be coming from Keaton Mitchell, right? And even if he got more carries when we get into the playoffs, we just wouldn't expect it from Keaton Mitchell because low round pick, and he's just not getting that many carries. And maybe we give it the ball, maybe we don't. It's just that element of uncertainty with him, right? Because he hasn't really proven it yet in his career. He's shown flashes, but he hasn't proven it. Whereas you have somebody like Derrick Henry, who's showing you in real time he is one of the best running backs in the league, and there's no signs of him slowing down. He looks great. So there's no excuses. Now, we can use that in the wide receiving core as well. We got some guys that show some promise, but if we had that guy out there, then there's no question you getting him the ball, you getting him involved. There's not this where we're bringing him along slowly like Odell, and sometimes he'll get a couple of snaps to get in there and then he'll get off the field. No, none of that. You have a guy, he's the man, he's going to be out there. That's what we need on this team. We always make sure we have it on defense, or we try to. And when the first time that we've had it on the offense under Lamar, you see it's paying dividends. So I'm hoping this trend continues in the future. Do I feel confident about it? No, because I know how this front office is. But you see how effective it is. And since we still got Ravens versus Steelers on the ticket here. What are the odds that we see them again in the playoffs?
Very strong. If we overtake either way, if we overtake them for the division, I don't really see Denver or the Chargers moving up to the number 5 spot, because they play each other for one, and I forget who they play in the other game. And if the Steelers end up winning the division, the Ravens are staying at number 5 because they hold a tiebreaker versus the Chargers and versus the Broncos. So Either way, we might see them if Cincinnati can pull out the win in the last week. If Cincinnati can pull out the win in the last week, and one of those other teams can move up and they go down to 6, then we'll see them in the first round. But that's a big if, though. But it's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, because I have to look at it. But whoever they matched up with in the first round, they could win.
Well, if it stands where Pittsburgh drops the high spot, they play Houston.
Yeah, and I think I would pick them to beat Houston.
I don't think the Steelers are frauds. I don't. Right. I think they're good. They have a good defense. Obviously George Pickens is a great young receiver. Najee Harris has played. I mean, he's been a little bit up and down, but I think he's been a bit more solid than usual. I don't trust Russ. I don't think that he's a guy, and I said it from the time they put him in, that he can give you a full year, or really more than half a year of solid play at this point in his career. Like we saw it in Seattle, we saw it in Denver, where he would kind of fall off in that second half of the season. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that. I mean, it was an unbelievably bad interception he threw to Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah,
right, and fumble.
So I'm not sure that the Steelers get out of the first round. I would love to see Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the playoffs, just for the added narrative value, to the entertainment of it. I'm not sure that we'll get it though.
But I mean, the way that it stands now, if the Ravens stay in the wild card slot, second round we play KC. If they go up to the 3 seed, second round we play Buffalo. Which do you prefer?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I prefer to play Buffalo. Like Kansas City, they play the most mistake-free football in the league, I think. Right, very disciplined team. They execute very well. Buffalo is a good team too, obviously. Right, they're going to be the number 2 seed in all likelihood. But just facing them earlier in the season, I know it was earlier, and teams make adjustments. I just don't think they can make any adjustments for what we have for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just that we beat them; it's how we beat them and how defeated they looked. You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna do anything different this time around. And we know how to defend Josh Allen. It seems like,
Right.
But you never know. I mean, that's why you play these games. But I prefer to play the Bills over the Chiefs. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want a piece of the Chiefs too. I want to beat the Chiefs in their home.
Oh, well, we beat Buffalo second round. We're going to KC.
Yeah. I want to save them for last because they celebrated on our field last year. We need to celebrate on their field.
Facts.
So, all right. Well, that's our coverage. By the time you're done watching this, the Ravens will be playing Houston. Okay, we'll get this out before that game. So we all feel good that the Ravens will win that game, and the Steelers will lose that game.
Yes.
Okay. So the following week, we'll be talking about the Ravens top of AFC North, and all we have to do is get past DTR, and DTR and the Browns
and Jerome Ford.
We're gonna leave that man alone. All right.
But all right,
there was another game that we want to talk about here. I forgot to put on the ticker on this one. Let me go ahead and do that right now. But the Carolina Panthers, they of the laughing stock of the league and never won back-to-back winning seasons, and they got fleeced in the Diontae Johnson deal, and they got fleeced in the Bryce Young deal. They came out and they lit up the scoreboard for 36 in a big win over the Cardinals, but it was a big win for the Carolina Panthers. The defense, the defense has been struggling all year. Obviously, they've had a lot of injuries, and they weren't the most talented defense to begin with. But the offense, I mean, they've lost Jonathan Brooks for the season. He tore his ACL again. They traded Diontae Johnson away, obviously. Right. Xavier Leggett did not play in this game. He's hurt as well.
That's why y'all won.
Wow, rude. But they had Adam Thielen, the guy that nobody wants because he has to windmill his arms to get himself going downfield. Jalen Coker and all the cokeheads who follow him. Undrafted wide receiver.
Coker had a nice catch. He didn't get his other foot in.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a catch. Man. But
if he caught it, it was out of bounds.
But what they had is they had Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard dominating a potential playoff team in the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about Bryce being the Carolina Reaper before, because he got Dennis Allen up out of there, right? And he ended Kirk Cousins. Well, no, who was it? It wasn't Kirk Cousins. Somebody else. Daniel Jones ended Daniel Jones' career in New York with that win, and now he popped up again, and he eliminated the Arizona Cardinals from the playoffs. They're gone now because they couldn't beat the lowly Carolina Panthers. But you know what? They're not so lowly anymore. Okay, you all had your fun. Y'all had your time. You had 6 good long years to make your jokes. All right, but it's over now. Because Bryce is here. And, don't shake your head. Bryce is here, and Carolina's about to. No, I'm talking to Hendo. He knows who I'm talking to.
You don't even know why I'm shaking my head, though.
They're about to take over the NFC South like they should have been for the last half decade.
I'm shaking my head because I'm trying to figure you out, Brodny. 1 minute you're like, we need to lose so we can get a higher draft pick, and now you seem extremely happy because you won.
I'm extremely happy. I'm not extremely happy because they won. I'm extremely happy because Bryce is showing week after week that he's that guy.
Okay.
Now, wins and losses, yes, obviously I prefer that they lose the games just for the draft pick. But when you have the quarterback, the rest of the stuff you can figure out, right? I'd like them to be able to stay in position to get Abdul Carter. They may not be there. We'll see. But they'll be able to add talent to the team, right? The most important things, they have their coach, I believe, in Dave Canales. They have their quarterback in Bryce Young, and
got their running back, Chuba.
And I'm not ashamed to say it. They're in the worst division in the league, and it's about to be go time. All right, they're gonna be stacking division titles.
But this is where me and B we semi argue about this, right? About carrying momentum into the following year, right? I don't necessarily think that you can carry that momentum from the previous season because you have a whole off season and different moving parts, but you can establish something, right? When you have a losing culture, you establish a certain mentality, and you have to go through that phase where you figure out who is going to compete, who's not trying to be a part of this. You weed those guys out, the ones that are buying into your system, right? Buying into your program, you keep them, and you build on top of that. And we're seeing that in real time. Like, I know a lot of Panthers fans aren't happy about the close losses, but from how you started the season, man, I don't see how you can't be excited about it. Like, Bryce looks completely different.
Yeah,
he looks completely.
He looks
different.
like Alabama Bryce, maybe even better than Alabama.
Yes.
Bryce. And no, you're absolutely right. Like, even watching them lose the games to the Philly and Kansas City, they were still fun to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Panthers have not been fun to watch in a very long time, and like obscenely long. But like I said, I think they have the right pieces now, and I think they're going to be able to turn it around relatively quickly. We have to see on Dan Morgan. I'm not sold on Dan Morgan as a GM. First round pick, didn't love it. Second round pick, this is not working out so far. That's not because he's a bad player. I think Jonathan is a good player, but he had a torn ACL when you drafted him. He tore it again. He's probably going to miss all of next year.
Yeah.
Most of next year. And after that, I think he did well with Trevin Wallace and Jatavian Sanders, but it's 1 year, and we got to kind of wait and see. And we need somebody who's going to be aggressive in putting talent around Bryce right now while he's on that rookie deal. So we'll see if Dan's up to it. If T. Higgins ends up in Carolina, he's obviously a competent GM. If T. Higgins is not in Carolina, he obviously needs to be fired.
No. What? Okay. But I agree with you. They are a very exciting team to watch, and they're an exciting team to root for. But I also have to agree with Jose. Momentum does not carry over to the next year. The Carolina Panthers are the epitome of momentum not carrying over to the next year. They've never had consecutive winning seasons. So I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's B's argument that it doesn't carry over to the next year. But I will say what carries over is a mentality,
winning mentality. Yes.
Yeah, and they've got it now. I think they've turned the corner on believing they can win.
Yeah, right? and I think it started from the top down, from your general manager to your previous head coaches, especially Riverside Ron,
Riverboat Ron.
Oh, paddleboard Ron. He wasn't. I don't know why everybody thought he was such a great coach. He was not.
Because he won Coach of the Year 2 times, and he won the division 4 times, and he got to the conference championship twice.
How many winning records?
And he got to the Super Bowl.
How many winning records did he have in those division titles?
In 3.
3 winning seasons.
Because he rode Cam Newton to success, and then wouldn't return his calls after he left and Cam Newton the job.
That's pretty. And I think that. This is wildly off topic now. Thank you, Hendo. I think that people really rooted for Ron because you get the impression that he's a really good person. That's the impression that you get from Ron Rivera.
What you talking about?
He's a great guy. He's got integrity and all that. And calm down. All right.
But that's what the players have said about him, right?
Yeah.
He's like a player's coach.
And then it's like, okay, you bench Cam for not wearing a tie. All right, that came from the GM, but you could have stood up to him on that, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then you get fired and you call everybody except Cam, who made your career.
Yep.
And then it's
right. You're going to a team where you have no quarterback. You have very low expectations to win. Like, yeah, no, I'm bringing Cam with me.
You called a couple other Panther quarterbacks. You called Taylor Heineke, you called Kyle Allen, but you didn't call Cam Newton.
And the worst part is, like, hearing Cam talk about it on the show is about, and he, he feels a certain way about it. He said, "Yeah, man, like, I don't know what happened. Like, he never called me. I can't explain it. Like
it genuinely hurt him.
Of course.
Yeah, you don't even call the man and have a conversation with him. Like, he built your career, your head coaching career, at least. You can't even give him a text.
Yeah.
I don't respect that.
Shame on you, Ron Rivera. Like, there's still time to correct it, but shame on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Still time to correct that.
There is. I mean, they're a personal relationship, obviously. He can't make Cam the starting quarterback in Washington, but
well, he can't make anybody starter. He ain't gonna get another head coaching job
ever.
But
he can go to college. There's plenty of colleges that'll hire Ron Rivera.
Towson State.
He'd be fantastic at Towson State.
Yeah,
he'd probably still lose.
But anyway, that's not Dave Canales.
Right. Dave Canales, the optimism bully.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, and the future's looking bright. This is why you compete, even when your season is going down the toilet. Because you want to see what you have. Like I said, they had to do it this way. They had to see if they had something in Bryce Young. Because if you really just went into tank mode and didn't give him the opportunity, then you don't see this for Bryce Young, right? And then now you are trying to get one of these quarterbacks. Now you don't need that quarterback. You have your quarterback, and you can look at something else in the draft. Do you want the highest pick that you can get so you can get the best talent? Sure. They're still going to end up with a fairly high pick. They'll get talent. Yeah. And they'll add in free agency. So the teams are just going to get better. And you're going to get some guys back healthy next year.
Hey, man, just the car crash heard around the world, man. Poor Andy.
Well, you be thankful for that car crash.
I'm not going to be thankful that his family was put in jeopardy.
No, that they're fine, but it got you starting quarterback. Let's be real. This is how the people of Carolina are thinking. Without that, we'd be stuck with Andy Dalton, and we wouldn't know what we have going in the next year.
Listen, the way it was going, Andy Dalton, Bryce was going to get back on the field anyway. I told you, Andy had but a couple of weeks in that arm. And God bless him, he got every ounce, every yard out of that arm he could.
Yeah, he did.
But it was going bad very quickly with Andy Dalton. But moving on, some news around the NFL. People like to tell us all the time when we say, hey, the Ravens should, make this moderate signing that would improve the team. This is in Madden.
Right.
And we got a story this past week that it kind of, I would say it kind of goes, flies in the face of fans thinking that, right? Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, apparently nixed a trade for Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver, because he didn't like his Madden rating. It wasn't high enough. Is this quite possibly the dumbest thing an owner has ever said or done? I mean, Jerry Jeudy's not a great player, right? But just on the surface of it,
dumbest thing, no.
Just the to look at a Madden rating to help you make that decision.
No, this isn't the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing is, I hired a consulting firm to figure out who my next franchise quarterback is going to be. But then I walked outside and talked to a homeless person. And he told me to get Johnny Manziel. So I drafted Johnny Manziel. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Shout out to state champion Teddy Bridgewater, who coached his high school team this past week. He's looking to return to the NFL. But yeah, no, this is it's up there though. Okay, yeah, not the dumbest. Talking to the homeless guy, that didn't happen. But it was the worst lie you could have come up with. Yeah. But this is way up the list. Saying, hey, I'm sure he heard it from his kids. Jerry Jeudy's not very good. he's rated so and so on Madden, and then to call your GM and be like, shut that down, is some of the it shows you why the Jets are who they are, right?
Facts.
Because like they always says, bad teams stay bad because of decisions like this from the top.
Mm-hmm.
You can hire almost not any coach, but almost any coach, right? Assuming they're competent, and if you put them in position and you leave them alone, they will turn things around to a certain degree. But bad teams don't allow that to happen, right? Bad teams have owners who meddle. Bad teams have owners who think they know better than their coaches and their GMs. Bad teams have owners who, will get personally involved with the players, in a negative way, right? And I don't know, man. I feel like the league should force him out. Honestly, like, if I'm Roger Goodell and I call you up and I'm like, did the Madden 25 rating for Jerry Jeudy play any part in whether or not you traded for Jerry Jeudy? And you say yes, I feel like I gotta force you to sell that team because you're incompetent.
Like, I mean, you want to talk about like overreaching, right? Like owners in general, even if he did his due diligence, he did the scouting and everything, to reach around your GM and say and block a signing like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like owners shouldn't be doing that. You hire your GM to make the moves, and you trust your GM and your coach, right?
Yeah.
You can give input. But you shouldn't be. You shouldn't. You shouldn't overrule them. Mm-hmm. The fact that you did it because you were playing Madden, I mean, who knew Woody Johnson would be playing Madden at this age? But he's playing Madden, and he looked at the ratings. He said, "Wait, what? 75?"
That's not what happened, Jose.
What happened?
So what happened was Joe Douglas, the general manager, he came out and spoke about it after they fired him. Now, this is the same general manager that in one draft got your Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall. So he knows talent and he knows what he's doing. But he told the media and everybody that I have to answer to children. Woody Johnson's sons were playing Madden, and the general manager had to consult with them on multiple occasions about moves that he wanted to make. And he was like, that's why certain things didn't happen with the Jets, because his sons vetoed it. So you have these teenage boys.
So it's the sons.
Yes.
Were the teenagers? Isn't Woody like 98?
Yes.
Well, I say like his son should be like 68.
He's not quite that old. But yeah.
Yes, but this all came from his sons, which makes it even worse.
Wait, so his sons are not grandsons, not great grandsons.
Not his sons. I think he has one. One is like 24, and another thing's like 18 or something like that. But they're younger.
Woody Johnson is 77.
No, that's not possible.
You sure?
No.
Listen, I got a guy on Frederick Road.
So somebody is lying about that.
I got a guy on Frederick Road. He delivers pizza. 72, just had a baby, and he was like, "I got to deliver pizzas to take care of my kid."
No. I mean, Woody looks like he's I was being generous. I said 98. He looks like he's 128.
That's how the pizza guy looked like. He looked like that
too. So Brick is an 18-year-old freshman at Harvard.
Yeah.
Brick? His name is Brick?
His name's Brick. And the Jack is 16? his younger brother.
16, yeah.
He has an 18 and 16-year-old son?
Yeah.
And they are not Jerry Jeudy fans. All right. So.
And Joe Douglas had to consult with them
on multiple occasions.
But listen. I mean, I think we need to turn this car around here, because they ended up with Davante Adams, right? So
he had to talk to the other teenager, Aaron Rodgers.
So tell me that they were wrong in saying, no, you're not trading for Jerry Jeudy. Go get Davante Adams.
I just think that was just circumstance. Like, they weren't guaranteed to get Davante Adams.
You're not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in life, Hendo.
I mean, true, but it's all for naught.
He's only a 75 overall.
It's all for naught, because now Garrett Wilson wants out. They don't want Aaron Rodgers back. So
Garrett Wilson
Wait.
in Carolina
Wait. Hold on. You hold on a second over there, B. Talk to me about Garrett Wilson. What did you hear about Garrett Wilson, Hendo?
Oh, the talk is out there that he wants out.
He wants gone because he was their leading receiver. He and Aaron Rodgers had this brotherhood, and like if you ever watch like Hard Knocks and things like that, or the Jets have a YouTube series, like they were like best friends. Now that Devontae's there, his targets have gone down, his yardage has gone down, and a lot of times it seems to him like the organization and Aaron are blaming things on him for his numbers not being the way that they used to be. But like the last 2 games, I think Diontae has like 27, 29 targets in the last 2 games. So
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers playing favorites. I don't.
How did Garrett not see that coming?
He's young.
I mean, if
you see him throwing your fellow wide receiver Mike Williams under a bus.
He old.
He just brought in his best friend Davante Adams. You didn't think you were next?
But
I never thought the leopards would eat my face, Jose.
But in my defense, they brought in Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and I still was eating. In his mind, he may think that he's better than Davante Adams.
He might be.
Might not be.
Davante's a little bit older. You know, he I can see him absolutely believing right now he's better than Diontae Adams.
Yeah, I can see why he'll believe that. Yeah,
and like I said, if not totally true, it's close. He's a very, very, very talented receiver.
He is.
But yeah, no, just stop playing Madden if you run an NFL team. You're doing the real thing. This is ridiculous.
Right. Dang,
Well, now that I got all the details, it's not stop playing Madden. It's you shouldn't be running an NFL team, kid.
Stop having kids. Also, moving right along to another Madden story. Diontae.
Wait, hold on before you start. Let's do a quick break because we're almost at an hour mark. Not sure how long this is gonna go. This is a Christmas special, but you know, if you're new here, you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Patreon. We both have Patreons. Myself, Brodny, and Hendo for the Roll Pod. Hendo, tell the people about your Patreon real quick.
Oh, yes. You can go over to patreon.com/ROUG. Become a patron for only $5 a month. Join the community. You can get into the Discord. You can get into the Fantasy Football League. You can get into the Pick'ems League, where I'm about to 3-peat in both leagues. So, you know, whichever one you get into, I'll be done. Because after this 3rd year of winning 3 straight, both, I'm retiring. So, you know, you can battle with everyone else.
Oh, Lord. And we'll put links to that in the description. All right. Also, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. We said we had a little surprise for you guys, some gifts for you guys. We are giving out some free Patreon memberships for 1 month only, starting today. We're gonna pass the links out to a handful of lucky people, and all you gotta do is click the link, sign up, and you will have access for 1 month to our Patreon, the $5 tier. Which is a lot. Okay, you get access to our Discord. You get access to the Overtime Show, which happens every Wednesday after the main show. Not this Wednesday, it's Christmas. Okay, calm down. But you can go back and look at the backlog of Overtime shows. It's a lot of fun. All right, it's a lot of fun. And if you like it and you want to upgrade and get a nice LBHT Crew coin, it's only $10. Okay, $10 for that. You want to do 20, you get the coin and you get this deck of cards. Okay, Ring Kings podcast cards. These are very slick, by the way. Yeah, very slick cards.
Legacy
so,
right there.
Huh?
So it's a legacy item right there.
Yeah, I know. It's not legacy. We just did it. We just did an episode.
Okay.
All right. We literally just did an episode yesterday. So go over to Ring Kings podcast and check it out. And we're gonna be putting out more content. And you want to see OTR Mike? OTR Mike was there.
Mm-hmm.
He was there in the flesh. All right. So yes, we're going to be giving that out. We hope you enjoy it. Okay. And if you're really enjoying it and you love it, sign up. And if you're not one of the lucky ones, hey, it's only $5. Okay.
If you really enjoy it and you're loving it, sign up and pay it forward. You can get Patreon memberships. Looking at you, Basso. Merry Christmas, Mazel.
Same thing with Hendo. Hendo has a link. You can share that link out. It's a great holiday gift. All right. Speaking of, LBHTShow.com/shop. All right. I'm not sure if we have what Hendo has on the.
Yeah, I think this is old school. This is retro. Yeah.
The site's not up right now.
What?
I'm transferring it over to Fourth Wall, so I mean it has to come down on Squarespace, and I'm putting up the products and everything and relaunching on Fourth Wall. It's just going to be LBHTShow.com. So, as I was saying, another Madden move. Go over this real quick, just because it happened earlier today. Diontae Johnson started off with the Steelers. Good receiver, solid number 2 receiver for them. They traded him. There's rumors that he was causing problems in the locker room. He wanted out. Traded him to Carolina, where he was going to be the number 1. He started playing with Andy Dalton. He didn't like that so much. And so Carolina put him on the block. He gets traded to Baltimore. And we're thinking, okay, they need a wide receiver. He's got an MVP quarterback. This is good. Baltimore said, not so fast, my friend. We traded for you because we thought you looked nice on the bench. And he said, please get me out of here. They released him after suspending him. And today, he was claimed on waivers by the Houston Texans, who happened to be playing Baltimore on Wednesday. And who, as we mentioned before, just lost Tank Dell to a terrible injury. So they're a little shorthanded in the receiving corps as well.
Do you think he's going to play?
I think he's going to play.
That's a short turnaround.
Listen, right. He ain't got no time to get acclimated. He needs targets, catches, yards. If he wants to continue being a well-paid NFL wide receiver. and they have all of the opportunity, because Stephon Diggs is gone, Tank Dell is gone, and
they're gonna be in a huddle like this. All right, Diontae, you gonna
they said they used to do that with Robert Meacham.
Go out.
They said they used to call
the
play. They used to call the play, and then the quarterback would go over to Robert Meacham and be like, Meacham left.
Yeah,
I don't know why they said his name to him. That's real messed up. But Meacham left, Meacham right. and listen, hey, if he can go out there and he can get open, that's really all it is, right? Football is simple. Football is not as complicated as we like to make it out to be. Go out there, beat your guy, be in a general area, and I'll throw you the ball.
But timing matters too, as we found out in the Pittsburgh game.
Right. It does. But at this point, they can get by with, once I see you open, I'll throw you the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than rolling out some of the other receivers they have there. This next story, we're going to go through real quick as well, because this is disgusting. Josh Allen, in their game against New England, and I hate doing these stories because it makes me sound like I hate Josh Allen. I don't hate Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen. He's having a great season. But near, midway through the second quarter, midway down the field, 3rd and 16, the Buffalo Bills drop back to pass. Josh Allen scrambles, launches the ball into the end zone, gets intercepted. The guy comes out of the end zone, gets tackled inside the 1-yard line. And Dan Orlovsky, when they were on TV and they were going over this highlight, said that he was absolutely right to do it. It was absolutely the right decision, because it's 3rd and 16. You're not getting 16 yards. Who cares if it gets picked off? That's not an interception.
Right.
It was an arm punt. Never mind the fact that they were on the 44-yard line of the Patriots. They're down 14-7, and they could have just gained a few yards and kicked a field goal. It's just like
they only won by 3.
Yeah, it's like you're advertising the fact that somebody is putting money into your pocket, saying, "Go call Josh Allen the MVP." Right. That's what that feels like. Saying that it's not an interception because it was 3rd and 16 is honestly the dumbest take I've ever seen from him.
I think the more you step away, like you stop watching a lot of these shows, the more ridiculous you realize it is when you see these clips and whatnot, right? When you get in a daily routine and you look at these shows, as part of your routine. It used to be a part of my show, part of my routine. Watch Mike and Mike in the morning, before work and whatnot, right? Like that's just what you do, and you listen to the sports takes and all that stuff, and those end up being your talking points because that's what you hear. Even on a local radio stations, you hear those takes, and that formulates your opinion. Okay, but when you kind of detox from that, and you don't watch it as much, and then you go back and hear some of the stuff, especially what you see on ESPN, because they're just yelling now. It wasn't always this way, Mike and Mike in the Morning was, they're pretty calm, quiet guys. Like, they get animated every now and then, but it was just a conversation. They talk about sports for 3 hours. Even Stephen A. back in the day didn't yell every single time he was on air, but now, I mean, it is a clown show, right? And that's not even trying to disparage them. Like, that's how they want it. They want it to be a spectacle. And when you're in this business, well, like we do content creation, you don't have time to watch that stuff 24/7. So right. it really looks ridiculous. Like, we have to go out there and do more research. We have to watch the games and do our homework on this stuff. And to hear them give these ridiculous sports takes, it does get annoying. But you got to understand, that's exactly what it is. All this to say that, Dan Orlovsky, like B said, he's paid to go out there and say that, right? Mm-hmm. Dan knows it was a bad pass. He knows that this is a guy that's led the league in turnovers for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. He knows it was a poor decision, but they are hyping up this Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson MVP race thing because they're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get ratings. And if they can get Josh, because we talked about it early in the year, nobody particularly cares about Josh Allen, right? It was 100%. It's 100% Lamar market. Mm-hmm. And I think they're looking at the numbers now, saying, okay, we got to do more than talk about Lamar. He's got to have a counterpart.
Foil.
We got to have somebody, huh?
Yeah, a foil.
Yeah, he's got to have a foil, and I think that's what they're trying to make Josh Allen. So they're hyping him up, right? Mm-hmm. So, and what they would love to see is Lamar and Josh Allen play in the playoffs. They would love that, So that's what this is all building up to. You talked about Dan Orlovsky. I was watching a clip from Nightcap the other day, and then they're saying the same nonsense. Shannon Sharp, who is one of the greatest tight ends of all time, who knows the game, is sitting there saying a bunch of gibberish about, oh well, it could, it's a tight race, but Allen, every time he's in the spotlight and in big games or primetime games, he performs well, which isn't true. He didn't perform well against the Ravens. Lamar has performed well in every primetime game this year. Mm-hmm. All right. He said something about how Lamar having Derrick Henry on the team hurts him, and Josh Allen is playing well despite the fact that they got rid of Stephon Diggs, even though they brought in Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. Right. And then he lists a bunch of players that played on defense as a loss for Josh Allen. Right. Like, give me a break. That has nothing to do with Josh Allen. But you got to hype him up.
Of course. Oh, the new thing I saw this morning was they showed him get tackled and he got up. Oh, and they're like, see, he's doing it with his broken hand. Oh my God, he's such a warrior. And I'm like, click. This is why I don't watch that.
Yeah. And that's what Aaron Rodgers was saying. Yeah. That's all.
But I don't understand how we're not adding Pat Mahomes in this MVP candidate race. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, in fact, I don't understand why he's not the clear front runner for MVP by media standards. Because the only standard that people have for Josh Allen being the front runner is the wins.
Right.
Who has more wins? Pat Mahomes.
But he didn't beat Josh Allen, though.
But Josh Allen didn't beat somebody as well.
Sure didn't.
He didn't beat Lamar.
Got the brace beaten off when he rolled in Baltimore.
Facts. Facts. And the difference, because you go back to last year when Lamar went on his run and took over the MVP conversation from Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. It was because he was beating the players. And in fact, Josh Allen wasn't even the leading guy. It was Brock Purdy.
Yep.
right? Like let's not do this revisionist history where Josh Allen had it locked up. Brock Purdy had it locked up.
Yep.
Right. And Lamar went into San Francisco on Christmas Day and did his team dirty. Brock Purdy didn't play particularly well. And he made it too obvious that he was just a better player. And people didn't feel comfortable voting for Brock Purdy anymore. Right. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it was. Josh Allen could have done that had he come to Baltimore and threw for 5 touchdowns or run for 3 touchdowns, throw for 3 touchdowns and lit us up. He could have made that statement, but he didn't. Lamar Jackson did. Yeah,
he didn't score at all.
Nope. Right.
He scored 0 touchdowns against Baltimore. It's really weird watching it because like a lot of times the media will grab onto something that's happening and embellish it and make that the narrative. They're just forcing this Josh Allen thing through, at all costs because there's not. Again, he's playing great. He's having a phenomenal season.
Thanks.
But there's no real argument that he's having a better season than Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I think a true test will be the Christmas Day game versus the Texans because after the Baltimore game, when Josh Allen took on the Texans, he went 9 for 30, 131 yards, no touchdowns. Like, he played poorly 2 weeks in a row. Not to mention the game that he just had yesterday, and he threw 156 yards, had 65 yards at halftime. And James Cook, when he ran the ball, he was the one that actually got them the lead, and the defenses what took over. That's why they won the game against the 2-11, 3-11 New England Patriots.
I think they've got 4 wins, sir.
No, they had 3 wins. They had 3 wins, but what the league tried to do was they tried to push this game to the forefront, and they flexed it to the 425 spot to make it a national audience.
It was a showcase for him.
And he went out there and it backfired on him. That's why Dan Orlovsky's talking about, it was just an excellent idea. That's just high QB IQ. And that's why CBS Sportsline was like a great arm punt because it backfired on him because they tried to hype him up and they're trying to build a case for him. But I don't understand how you can build a case for a quarterback that has 4 games under 200 yards passing. You have several games where you have no touchdowns and some interceptions. Lamar Jackson has passed for a touchdown in every game this season, at least one. So I don't see how they, of course they're trying to hype up their guy. And it's kind of like this is the feel-good season. Like, he deserves it. He's carried his team for a while. Lamar has 2. Some other guys have some. Let's just give it to him.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in this position ever again. So let's just give it to him. Let's not speak about how the AFC East this season is very weak. Miami's not what you thought it was going to be. The Jets have regressed even worse than they were under Zach Wilson. The New England Patriots right now are the New England Patriots. Yes, he beat the Chiefs. Yes, he beat Detroit. But against 500 teams, he's 3-3. And he has and I think Bills fans love to talk about the Buffalo Bills scoring differential. Their scoring differential against above 500 teams is plus 6 points.
I think 4-3 now after the Detroit win, but yeah.
No, that was 3-3. That made him 3-3.
You sure? I thought it was.
I am for certain of this.
Okay, that's
they
terrible.
They beat Detroit, Kansas City,
and
it was
one of them other ones.
One of them teams that was at 500 around that time. I can't remember who it was.
Seattle.
Yep, those were the 3 teams. 3-3.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so yeah, the main point: Josh Allen, great player, great season, not an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're gonna go ahead and move on and close this out with a couple of holiday themed questions, a little holiday etiquette, if you will. This first one I think is pretty easy. Okay, you're out shopping, it's crowded, you're in line. You're at the front with the registers. Somebody opens up another register. Do you stand there and you wait for the people who are in front of you to go, or is it a free-for-all? Whoever gets over there first is first. Now, for me, like I said, I think it's pretty easy. Okay, if they say, "Hey, next in line," and they're talking specifically to one line, right?
Right.
Then okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let that person go. They can back up in their little car. They can go about their business. If it's multiple lines, and you just open up and you're like, "Hey, I'm open on number, aisle number whatever."
Right.
Nah, man. We all fighting for it. Okay, and you gonna
Yes.
lose.
Actually, that what B said is correct. Okay, as a person who's worked many jobs, a lot of them been in retail. I could tell you, yes. When they get up to the registers and it's multiple registers opening up, y'all gotta figure it out. You're adults, all right? If it's just one register, typically they don't do it when it's a huge line. By the way, if it's a huge line, they're gonna open up multiple registers. If it's a little bit big, they want to kind of shorten it down a little bit. They'll open up one, and typically the cashier will tell you, "Hey, you can come over here and this person in line or whatever." Some places will direct direct traffic a little bit. They won't just let anybody walk up on a register. They kind of call you in order to work it out.
They put out the fake velvet ropes.
Yeah. They even do it with the auto registers now.
Self checkouts,
Yeah.
It's a free for all. That's all it is. It's free for all. Me personally, I don't move because I don't feel like getting to it. Because I have a 5-foot radius around me. Don't get too close because I don't care. I'm knocking you back. So I just keep my calm. I stay in the line that I'm at and let them fight for it. It's not that serious.
What Hendo's not telling you is when he moves around a grocery store, he does not move like a normal person.
Yes,
he doesn't push his cart and just walk in a straight line. He swings the cart around
not
him
the cart.
in a circular motion.
I do.
Knocking out.
He does donuts in
any and all competition. Whether it could be a 98-year-old woman, it could be a 5-year-old child. Get out my space. Or you catching one of these corners to the temple. But like I said, I think that one's pretty clear, right? You say, hey, we're opening it up. There's a lot of people in line, and you just got to get there.
Right.
Okay, you got to get there. It's like the quarterback hikes the ball, hands it off, and you see the hole. It ain't open long. You got to get there. Okay. This next one, little more blurry.
Okay.
What's the max number of plates you should be leaving a party with?
This one hits a little closer home for us because our older brother has had a feud with one of our cousins over this. There is a max, ladies and gentlemen,
and it is less than you think. I guess I'll go in first, and I'll say I'm not one to leave the party with food. I think you're there, you eat as much as you want to eat. You want to get seconds, you get seconds, whatever. You're there, you're having a good time. When you're leaving, you leave with what you brought. Okay. And no, I don't even mean the food. Like you leave with yourself. Okay, the food is there for the people who are still at the party, and you go home. But I wouldn't be upset at people grabbing an extra plate or whatever. But that's just me personally. I don't think you grab a whole bunch of food and head out. I think you eat what you want to eat while you're there. Unless it's like a dessert or something like that. Hey, we didn't get to have the cake or whatever. Okay, grab a couple pieces of cake, whatever. But other than that, no, you leave the food there.
I have two answers. First answer is the proximity chart. It's the proximity of the family member that you are. The further out proximity you are, if you ain't in my close family that I deal with every day, you take one plate and go, unless you ask. But then the second answer is depending upon how late you stay. Because a lot of times we don't eat a lot of the food that we keep. So as long as everybody got food to take home, if you're still there at the end, we tell you take as much as you want. But in the beginning, I have an aunt. She always come with the dollar store paper plates. 10. It's 10 of them, not even 100. She come with 10. And every time she would leave the house, she would hide a bag behind the chair. She would go outside, hide a bag in the bush. She would hide one behind the plant. So when you see her getting to her Uber, she just carrying bags like she coming from the grocery store. And I told my grandmother, she's never coming over here again. My grandma like, but that's my sister. I don't care.
I mean, yes, I agree with everything you said. Both of y'all. Really, the proper etiquette is 1 plate per person, right? You can have a second plate for the desserts, you know.
You're behind bags, yo.
But I don't think y'all understand. I don't think y'all understand when I say she's hiding bags. It's at least 3 plates in each bag.
She coming to loot the place
every
but
time.
Okay, but I'm glad you brought that up, though. I'm glad you brought that up, because what I'm going to add to this is, if you're planning on doing that, you coordinate ahead of time. Okay, I just went through this at Thanksgiving at my sister's house, right? Our family's from the Virgin Islands. I don't get island stuffing that much. That's one of my favorite foods. She was making it. I told her I'm going to take lots and lots of that home. Just a heads up. Okay, so if people start to go in on it, I'm going to just take some and put it to the side, and I'm taking it home with me. What she did was make extra for me. She made an extra pan for me, extra pan for my oldest brother, and she put it in the freezer. She said, that's yours to take home. That's just for you, untouched, right? You can work these things out if you let them know ahead of time what your intent is.
You ain't greedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, she knows how I am. Like she knows. So that some extra mac and cheese, a couple other things. Like, she already knows like what my preferences are. So those are already put to the side for me. So I don't have to, go in there and be like our cousin. Our brother got so mad one year. Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I can't remember.
I think it was Thanksgiving.
His girlfriend was telling us, hey, get some stuff, take some stuff home. And I was looking for something. I can't remember what it was. Our cousin took the whole pan of it. He did, like, you talking about plates? He's like, plates? No, that's a perfectly good pan. I'll just take the pan.
Plates is messy.
Yeah, okay, that was a good question. The last one?
That's the last one. Yeah. I think it's time we go ahead and wrap this up and get out of here. Thank you, everybody who joined us today. Presumably, I won't be in the chat, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone, and congratulations to everyone who got the free month of Patreon.
Yes.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna sign up.
If we don't talk B into doing a birthday stream, happy birthday to my brother Brodny.
Right.
Okay. His birthday is on the 28th. All right. Throw some happy birthday emojis in the chat. All right. Donations, patreon.com/LBHT Show. Cash App, $ LBHT Show. All right. All that stuff. But look, you guys, enjoy your holiday. We anticipate a very good day for the Ravens. Very good day for the Ravens, with the win over the Houston Texans and a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If it goes the other way, well, you'll hear from us too.
Rewind back to the start of this, and you'll feel better.
Right? Yeah, you'll hear from us too. Just not today, but you'll hear from us. All right, y'all. Enjoy the time with your family. Hope you enjoyed your gifts. I hope you just enjoyed your time off. Enjoy the day. Hendo, one more time, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on the Rogue Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky.
Blue Sky is a place now. All right, we're all over there, and for us, it's everywhere at LBHT Show. Yes, go over to Blue Sky though, because we're trying to build that up. If you're following us on Twitter, man, just go over to Blue Sky and hit that up. Okay, we're active over there. All right, but everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Peace.